Hello, everybody. This is our third installment of our focus group, and this time I am planning a way to meet with as many of you as possible. Attached to the email that you've just received, there is a doodle link that allows you to go in and select a time where you may be available to connect with me and possibly others, just depending on how all of our schedules work out. So it may be that you'll meet with just me, or it may be that you will meet with two or three other people as well with me. And once you go in and respond to that, I will get a notification and I'll be able to go in and look and see when people are available, and I'll confirm with you in an email regarding the time and place, and we'll go from there. Now, the purpose of meeting this time is because I think that this will be the easiest and best way to collect some of the information and to assemble some things that I think are important to consider when we are discussing issues of disparity in a community. And so we're going to be doing some mapping, and in that process, it will include actually looking at maps of Fort Wayne, and you'll also see a link in the email I just sent that allows you to go in and look at a map in the area related to income and household income. And I think visuals are really helpful for me to see what's at work. And so if you're curious and want to click around on that a little bit, you can. But the mapping we'll be doing will be also related to some other information just regarding our own personal lives, and also organizations and structures that we're a part of. So you will also see in the email that I've attached a simple spreadsheet, and that'll allow you to go in and consider either the workplace that you're a part of, maybe it's an organization that you're with, or even someplace that you volunteer with. It could be within a church structure. It's up to you as to how you'd like to choose to reflect on these things. But the point of this exercise is for us to take a look both personally and collectively, start thinking about the way that organizations are structured, the way that formal settings are structured, and the way that decisions get made. And so by collecting some information about the people that create the groups that we're a part of, this will help us to maybe look at and ask some questions about those things. And so I'm going to include an example right here for you. So let me move over to that, and I will explain using some longtime friends of mine. So as you can see on this spreadsheet, we have Cookie Monster, Bert, and Rosita, friends from Sesame Street, in their own little community that they've been a part of together. And just to collect some basic information, we've indicated basically how they identify in terms of ethnic representation. Cookie Monster, we're not sure, we're marking other. And then we go over to an estimated household income. Now, of course, we don't always know each other's household income, but we kind of have a guess. Because for Cookie Monster, we know that he probably eats most of his profits, so we're just going to mark him that he's under $25,000 a year. Now we'll go over and mark that he's male. He does have an associate's degree because he went to school to learn how to bake. And that's it for Cookie Monster. Going to Bert, we know, indicating that he identifies as white. And because he and Ernie share a household together, we're going to indicate that they make over $51,000 a year. That's a rough estimate, of course, but it just gives us a ballpark of some information to work with. Again, mark that he's male. He does have a master's degree. I think he went and studied birds, you know how much he loves pigeons. And then looking at Rosita, she identifies as Latina, and her household income, we're estimating at between $26,000 and $50,000 a year. Of course, she's female. She is still finishing school, and we indicated that in C notes and wrote down below that Rosita is still in school. There you have it. There's the spreadsheet for my friends from Sesame Street. Now, I didn't include myself on that, but I would do that as well because they're a part of my group that I would be looking at. So for you and your spreadsheet, you include yourself and try to include at least 5 other people if you can, and up to 8 or 10 would be great. But whoever you would consider is a part of a leadership or decision-making body that is, or for some of you in the workplace, maybe you have, 3 people that make decisions, but there are 10 people who are employed. And so in that case, I would say consider maybe all of those folks if you can, because the idea is to get as broad a view of the kind of people that are involved within the context that you're a part of. So, if you've got 50 people employed, obviously you can't do that, but maybe you could even think in terms of the demographics that are listed and try to come up with some kind of representation of what those demographics are. And then we'll start with that and we'll go from there. And as we continue through the next few weeks and months with some of my other questions and things that we're thinking about, you'll probably see some of the relevancy and it'll help us to gauge what's going on with that. So okay, so besides a spreadsheet and the doodle poll, the only other thing is if you have questions or you're not quite sure what I'm getting at with some of these things and just want to touch base with me, feel free to send me an email or a text or a call or whatever you think is useful. You don't need to send anything back to me right away, and I will look for what you put together when we actually meet. So if you can bring that with you when we meet, or if you'd like to send a digital copy of something, of your spreadsheet, that's fine because you don't like to mess with papers. Just send me that, but something that we can work off of. And that's why I say in the email too, if you want to try to keep some, just some confidential information, you don't want to necessarily give people's true identities away to other people, that's fine. Just create a key that would help you keep track of who it is that you're listing and how you're identifying them within your list. So I think that's all for now. And I thank you for your time. And I look forward to seeing what you're able to put together. And I'm also look forward to seeing what we're able to collectively put together as we meet in these small groups. So I look forward to hearing from you. If you can please set your target date to get back with me over the next just few days, because the doodle poll needs to be responded to sooner than later. So if you can do that within the next couple of days, that'd be great. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you later. Bye.